Welcome to the greatest show on Earth. No, I'm not talking about the 100-meter dash. I'm not talking about the precision of a gymnastics floor routine or the endurance of a marathon. We're talking about the other Olympic sport. The one that doesn't have a podium, but definitely has a lot of winners. It's the sport that happens behind closed doors, on the grass, in the communal showers, and apparently even on the infamous cardboard beds. Welcome to the Olympic Freak-Off. Most people see the Olympics as this pure display of human achievement, and it is. But what happens when you take 10,000 of the world's most physically elite human beings, put them in a fenced-in village with free food, unlimited adrenaline, and zero parental supervision? You get the wildest party on the planet. Today, we're going behind the scenes of the Second Games, on this episode of Sports Revelations. Let's look at the stats. Every 4 years, the Olympic Village transforms into the world's most exclusive, high-performance dating app. And the organizers? They aren't just aware, they're the official suppliers. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, literally factors the freak-off into their logistics budget. Check out the condom inflation we've seen over the decades. This isn't just growth, it's a vertical climb. Seoul, 1988. 8,500 condoms were provided. This was the humble beginning, the first time they really tracked it. The officials thought, yeah, maybe a few people will stay up late. But in Sydney 2000, things escalated quickly. They started with 70,000 condoms, and they ran out. The organizers had to put in an emergency order for 20,000 more just to make it to the closing ceremony. That's when the world realized more is going on at the Olympic Games outside of just sports. Rio 2016 was the absolute peak. The gold medal of village intensity, 450,000 condoms. Do the math. There were roughly 10,500 athletes in Rio. That's 42 condoms per athlete for a 17-day event. Unless they're blowing them up like balloons or having water balloon fights, that is a lot of cardio happening outside the stadium. Even in Tokyo 2020, during a global pandemic with a literal intimacy ban and social distancing stickers everywhere, they still handed out 160,000 condoms. They just told the athletes, please don't use them here, take them home as souvenirs. Yeah, right. Souvenirs. We all know nobody was waiting until they got home. But don't take my word for it. The athletes themselves have spilled the tea for years. Hope Solo, the legendary US goalkeeper, famously told ESPN the magazine, "There's a lot of sex going on. I've seen people having sex right out in the open. On the grass, between buildings, people are getting down and dirty." She even admitted to sneaking a celebrity back to her room after winning gold in Beijing. Think about the security. You've got snipers on the roof, and she's smuggling A-listers into a twin-sized bed. That's elite performance. Then you have Ryan Lochte, who is never one to filter himself. He estimated that 70% to 75% of Olympians are hooking up during the games. His reasoning? Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It makes sense. You've been training for 4 years. You've been on a strict diet. You haven't stayed out past 9 p.m. in months. The second your event is over, the dam breaks. And it's not just the Summer Games. Don't let the snow fool you. In Lillehammer 1994, athletes reportedly used so many condoms they actually clogged the sewage system of the Olympic Village. Imagine being the plumber who has to explain that to the mayor of a small Norwegian town. That is a gold medal level of freak-off. Now, back in the day, if you wanted to find a partner in the Olympic Village, you had to actually, talk to them in the cafeteria. But in the 2010s, the freak-off went digital. The introduction of location-based dating apps turned the Olympic Village from a high-stakes party into a 24/7 digital meat market. And I'm not exaggerating, the apps literally couldn't handle the heat. In London 2012, within 24 hours of the athletes arriving, the gay dating app Grindr completely crashed. The servers were overwhelmed. The company's founder had to personally apologize, saying the system simply couldn't cope with the unprecedented demand coming from one specific zip code in East London. fast forward to Paris 2024, and the apps have had to change the rules. Because so many fans were using passport mode to change their location to the Olympic Village just to creep on athletes, Grindr actually disabled the explore and distance features in the village. They did it to protect athletes who might not be out in their home countries. But even with those blocks, the stats are insane. During the Paris Games, Tinder reported a 20% surge in swipe activity across France. Profiles with the job title Olympian increased by 52%. And the passport feature, where people from their basements in Ohio or Brazil try to match with a French swimmer, that usage went up 103%. Imagine being an athlete. You've just finished the most stressful day of your life. You open Tinder, and it's basically like a who's who of the sports world. It's like a secret menu at a restaurant, but everyone is a 10 out of 10. As US snowboarder Jamie Anderson put it, Tinder in the village was next level. It was all athletes. In the entire mountain village, it was all athletes. It was hilarious. Basically, if you aren't on the apps in the village, you feel like you're missing out on the party. You're missing the modern-day Olympic experience. We have to talk about the beds. For Tokyo and Paris, the organizers introduced sustainable cardboard beds. The internet immediately dubbed them anti-sex beds. The theory was that if you tried to get too enthusiastic, the bed would collapse. But leave it to the athletes to turn this into a challenge. During the Paris Games, we saw TikToks of the Irish gymnastics team jumping on the beds, 5 people at a time, trying to break them. They were basically stress testing the equipment for the village activities. The verdict? The cardboard holds up. The anti-sex beds were actually pro-sustainability, high-performance support systems. Now we get to Paris 2024. After the dry spell of Tokyo's restrictions, Paris Village Director Laurent Michaud made it clear, the ban is officially lifted. They've stocked the village with 300,000 condoms, and here is the kicker. These are the first games to achieve a perfect 50-over-50 gender split among athletes. The math gets even wilder now. We're looking at about 2 condoms per day, per person. But why does this happen? Well, think about the biology. You take 10,000 of the most physically fit, attractive, and high testosterone humans on the planet. You put them in a high-stress environment where they've been denying themselves for years to train. They are at the peak of their physical lives. The second that final whistle blows and the pressure is off, boom. It's a biological explosion. As former water polo captain Tony Azevedo put it, it's like the first day of college. You're nervous, you're excited. Everyone's meeting people and trying to hook up. Except, unlike college, everyone has 4% body fat and can run a 4-minute mile. So, while we're sitting on our couches eating chips and watching them break world records on TV, just remember, there are plenty of personal bests being set in the village as well. The Olympics isn't just a test of human strength, it's a test of human connection. What do you think? Is the Olympic freak-off just a legend blown out of proportion, or is the village basically a 2-week Tinder Gold subscription on steroids? If you were an Olympian, would you be focused on the gold, or would you be checking out the neighbor in the Olympic Village? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we've got more deep dives into the wild side of sports coming your way. I'll see you in the next one. Peace! This is ASED. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.